All right, ready alle renduperum. Alina, you will get 1 minute and your time starts now.
Foreign universities make an indelible impact on nation, not just prestigious titles, but profound changes. According to UNESCO, international universities empowered 8 million students in the year 2019 alone. What does this mean? This means that in those education or in those countries where quality education is lagging, transnational universities can play a very big role. In India's education investment is just 4.4% of its GDP against the global percentage of 5%. What can be done to change this scenario within a country? We can bring in foreign universities. Nations from around the world prove testimony to the changes that can be brought. In 2010, South Korea's transformation in its education policies encouraged foreign universities, which took the country's research ranking to the 5th globally from 11th rank.
All right, so now Haritha, it's your turn. Your time starts now.
The idea that the advent of foreign universities will improve the educational quality of India is nothing but a fallacy. The cutting-edge research infrastructure and facilities offered come at a cutthroat price which cannot be afforded by a population that has 7.7% of its students who are not able to afford the basic amenities of life. This would further enlarge the gap between the haves and have-nots. The Sidhu Kana Murmur University in Dhanka, Jharkhand is a tribal university that focuses on the preservation of traditional knowledge. Now imagine a foreign university in its place. As we all know, Western education is a one-size-fits-all. The impact that the foreign university is going to make is nothing but the destruction of the rich and vibrant cultural tapestry of our country. If avoiding brain drain is the focal point of this venture, let's take the example of the Deccan University of Australia, which is soon going to open its campus in Gujarat. The university will directly recruit its students to Australia, meaning brain drain will continue to happen.
Right, Haritha and Alina, you guys would get 4 minutes and your debate time starts now.
What exactly is the purpose of higher education? To make a youth that is employable. When the British Council of 2020 shows that 75% of the employers agree that the skills trained within foreign universities and countries would give them the skill sets that would be required in the job market against the traditional forms of education that does not give us any skill set required for the job market.
Haritha?
Yes. All right, so you're saying that the students in Indian universities are not at all employable, right? When we know that we have international recruiters like Microsoft, Google, and all these platforms coming and recruiting students who have studied in Indian educational system and who are getting very high payment. Like take the example of Sundar Pichai. He graduated from IIT Madras and then later from IIT Kharagpur.
Yes, Alina?
All right, let's take this whole thing into a global level. Let's go and get our focus into the GCC countries. What did these foreign universities did to the UAE? Within a decade of introducing foreign universities into the country, the number of students studying in the universities in UAE tripled, which clearly shows that foreign universities have the capability to bring in an element which was absent before.
Haritha?
All right, great. Talking about UAE, let me give you an example of a failed foreign university setup. There is the George Mason's University, which opened its campus, UAE campus, in 2005. But after facing a lot of difficulties, such as financial difficulties, enrollment issues, the university decided to shut down its campus in 2009, just 4 years after its inception.
Haritha?
Okay, let's look at a success story of this Georgetown University in Qatar. What happened is that Qatar is a country, or take for that matter any of these GCC countries which are monarchy, where academic freedom is something that's totally out of the concept because you cannot go against the monarchy. There are topics that you cannot talk on. In countries like Saudi Arabia, there are ways in which you're supposed to dress up. In Qatar, the Georgetown University introduced the research such that the faculty members researched on the harsh working condition of the construction workers. And this, made the government to bring reforms and change the whole situation for the workers. So these universities are not just making us intellectually brighter, but changing the actual working of a nation and making it better for the people living there.
Bring social changes.
That's wonderful to hear that a university was able to achieve that. But you must be aware now that all the universities do not offer such a liberal programs and stuff. Like, for example, the New York University branch in Saudi Arabia, they have a very stringent rule. They do not allow homosexuals to enter the campus or do not allow the Palestinian people to come. Isn't that too much restrictive? Like, they're avoiding an entire section of a population.
Right, Alina?
All right, in a country like Saudi Arabia, regardless of whether the university is foreign or whether the university is within the nation, there would be no changes to the base rule. All we can do is within those limits try and make it better. Now, let's take another statistic. The 2021 QS report shows that 54% of the TNE offered courses are in specialized field. And what is the plus point of this? See, in countries, most of the countries, there are just generalized courses. And this 54% are specialized courses, which gives students a broader sector to choose from for their education.
More options, yes.
We're already living in an educational setup where STEM researchers, that is research in science, technology, and mathematical areas, are given much more importance. And these foreign universities, as you said, that specializes in different courses, are focusing in the same area. And such universities such as Johns Hopkins, they receive so much criticism. And imagine such universities coming into India that is known for its humanities and social sciences, that is rich in so much culture and studies subjects such as yoga and pranayama and things like that. And you want to replace it with something that is only science-based?
Right, your time has ended. Alina and Haritha, രണ്ടുപേരും ഒന്ന് കൈ കൊടുത്ത് പിരിഞ്ഞോളൂ. നല്ലൊരു കൈയടി കൊടുക്കുക. This is our 26th pair. Let me invite our next pair onto stage.
Federal Bank Speak for India, Kerala Edition Season 8 in association with Madhrbhoomi.